Zero sportsmanship. Golf's most unsportsmanlike moments ever caught on camera. 13. Sergio's Tbox tantrum. We've seen clubs tossed. We've seen frustration boil over. But Sergio Garcia's infamous club snap at the 2019 British Masters became a highlight reel of how not to act under pressure. After a poor drive, he smashed his driver into the tee box, breaking it in two and hurling the head into the rough. The commentators went silent. The crowd gasped. Garcia walked off like nothing happened. But the internet didn't forget, and neither did his sponsors. Was this raw emotion or a lack of professionalism? Some defended the behavior as a sign of passion, while others saw it as a stain on golf's gentlemanly image. Number 12. Reid versus Spieth Cold War. Team chemistry? Not at the 2018 Ryder Cup. After being split from his usual partner Jordan Spieth, Patrick Reid aired dirty laundry in public. In a scathing interview just hours after Team USA's defeat, Reid accused the captain of bias and claimed Spieth didn't want to play with him. While others stayed silent, Reid lit a match under the whole team dynamic. Instead of addressing issues privately, he went full media circus, highlighting ego over sportsmanship. This moment sparked debates across the golf world, with fans and analysts dissecting every frame, replaying it in slow motion, and questioning the implications for the sport's image. This wasn't just a moment of poor judgment. 11th. Vijay Singh's locker room ban. When Annika Sorenstam entered a PGA Tour event in 2003, most players applauded the move. One didn't. Vijay Singh said, "I hope she misses the cut. She doesn't belong out here." He then withdrew from the event entirely. The message was clear: resentment disguised as tradition. Singh may have followed the rules, but his comments drew widespread backlash and revealed a lot about how thin the line between competitive and condescending can be. Even sponsors and media personalities weighed in, reminding everyone just how visible every move is in today's ultra-connected sports world. 10. Lexi Thompson's rulebook nightmare. At the 2017 ANA Inspiration, Lexi Thompson was blindsided mid-round with a 4-stroke penalty, thanks to a viewer email the day before. Yes, you heard that right. A TV viewer spotted a ball placement infraction and reported it to officials, who waited a day to act. Lexi fought back tears and still forced a playoff, but fans were outraged. Her crime? Marking her ball slightly off. It wasn't her opponent who cost her the win. It was someone watching from their couch. This moment sparked debates across the golf world, with fans and analysts deconstructing every frame, replaying it in slow motion, and questioning the implications for the sport's image. This wasn't just a moment of poor judgment. It became a flashpoint that reshaped conversations around sportsmanship in golf. Fans debated the fallout for weeks. Sports analysts dissected every angle, asking, was this raw emotion or a lack of professionalism? Some defended the behavior as a sign of passion, while others saw it as a stain on golf's gentlemanly image. Even sponsors and media personalities weighed in, reminding everyone just how visible every move is in today's ultra-connected sports world. 9. Koepka's too slow outburst. Brooks Koepka has never been shy, but when Bryson DeChambeau's famously slow pace tested his patience, Koepka let the cameras know. During an interview, he stopped mid-sentence, rolled his eyes, and cursed as Bryson passed behind him. Fans dubbed it the eye roll heard round the world. Koepka didn't apologize. In fact, he doubled down. The feud ignited a storm across social media and forced the PGA to address slow play more seriously. This moment sparked debates across the golf world. This wasn't just a moment of poor judgment. It became a flashpoint that reshaped conversations around sportsmanship in golf. Fans debated the fallout for weeks. Sports analysts dissected every angle, asking, was this raw emotion or a lack of professionalism? Some defended the behavior as a sign of passion, while others saw it as a stain on golf's gentlemanly image. 8. Daly's fan toss incident. Grace has never been John Daly's calling card. Brash, unfiltered, and unpredictable? Yes. But graceful? Not quite. That truth came crashing into focus during the 2008 Australian Open when Daly, trailed relentlessly by a fan with a camera, finally snapped. In a split-second eruption, he ripped the device from the spectator's hands and hurled it into a tree. He later insisted the fan had crossed a line, but video evidence told a colder story, one of unchecked aggression rather than provocation. Security stepped in. Daly was removed from the course without a word to the crowd or the media. The only things left behind were a destroyed camera and a storm of questions that would swirl for weeks. The incident ignited a firestorm. Golf forums, sports talk shows, and highlight reels fixated on the outburst. Was Daly simply fed up with invasive fans? Or had he once again revealed an inability to control his temper? The golf world split down the middle. Some admired his fire, others condemned the act as a disgrace. Even corporate sponsors and broadcasters chimed in, not necessarily out of moral concern, but because they understood one thing very clearly. In the digital age, every meltdown lives forever. 7. Patrick Reid sandgate. At the 2019 Hero World Challenge, Patrick Reid wasn't just battling the course, he was caught in a storm of his own making. Deep in a waste bunker, Reid took a couple of practice swings that, under the scrutiny of cameras, appeared to clear away sand from behind his ball. A small gesture maybe, but one with big consequences. Reid insisted it was an honest mistake. He claimed he didn't realize he had moved the sand, but slow-motion replays told a different story, and the golfing public wasn't buying it. Online outrage flared. Cameron Smith didn't mince words, calling it out for what many believed it was: blatant cheating. The official ruling docked Reid 2 strokes, but the real damage couldn't be measured on a scorecard. His reputation, already a subject of debate in locker rooms and media circles, took another hit. Number 6, that's not my ball. It started with a gust of wind and ended with a standoff. At the 2011 BMW Championship, Gary Woodland stood over a ball he believed was his. Mark Wilson wasn't so sure. The ball had shifted slightly in the breeze, and Wilson was convinced Woodland had played the wrong one. What followed wasn't just a routine rules check. It became a tense, drawn-out exchange that turned a quiet fairway into a courtroom. Voices were low but firm. Officials were called in. Fans gathered, sensing something deeper than a simple misunderstanding. Wilson pushed for clarity. Woodland stood his ground. The two professionals circled the issue for minutes that felt like hours. This wasn't just about a golf ball, it was about integrity, trust, and perception. The longer the confrontation lasted, the more it unraveled the emotional threads beneath the surface. The clip made the rounds almost instantly. Commentators slowed it down, trying to read lips and body language. Was Wilson being a stickler or upholding the rules? Was Woodland genuinely unaware or trying to skirt a penalty? The discourse flooded broadcasts, blogs, and clubhouses. Number 5, Spieth's group walkout. At the 2022 Travelers Championship, Jordan Spieth wasn't himself, and everyone noticed. Following a frustrating hole late in the round, Spieth uncharacteristically blew past the expected post-hole handshake. No eye contact with his playing partners, no nod to the crowd, not even a word to his caddy, just a swift exit, head down, stride firm. By the time the cameras caught up, he was already gone. No interview, no explanation. Golf fans aren't used to seeing Spieth like that. His image has long been built on composure and approachability, but in those few clipped seconds, all of that cracked. The handshake snub quickly made the rounds online, clipped, captioned, and scrutinized. Social media took the lead, branding him everything from disrespectful to entitled. Speculation ran wild. Had he lost his cool? Was it personal? Was something bigger going on? Spieth eventually issued a statement citing illness. But by then, the visual had taken on a life of its own. In today's sports landscape, optics matter as much as intent. The debate wasn't loud, but it was pointed. In a sport rooted in etiquette, even a silent misstep echoes loudly. Number 4. Mickelsons rules battle. At the 2014 PGA Championship, Phil Mickelson didn't swing a club for nearly 8 minutes and still managed to spark controversy. The scene. Lefty stood over a potential drop, deep in discussion with rules officials. But discussion might be too soft a word. It was more of a chess match in slow motion. Phil wasn't angry, he was methodical, relentless, determined to get the drop spot he believed he deserved. Officials conferred, double-checked, hesitated. Spectators shifted uncomfortably. The game was on hold, and Mickelson wasn't moving. Eventually, he got his way, but not without drawing a wave of criticism. Plenty praised him for knowing the rulebook better than most. Others saw it differently. A calculated stall, a manipulation of golf's gray areas. Not cheating technically, but not exactly clean either. Phil didn't raise his voice. He didn't throw a club. But in his quiet defiance, he triggered a conversation that reached beyond one hole and one round. Number 3. President's Cup Scuffle. In 2021, Patrick Reid didn't make the U.S. President's Cup roster. And it wasn't just about stats or swing speed. Officially, it was chalked up to health concerns. Unofficially, whispers echoed louder. Locker room friction, frayed relationships, and mounting tension with team leadership. The omission spoke volumes, and Reid's silence afterward only deepened the mystery. There was no public outcry, no protest, just absence. And that in itself was enough to fuel headlines. Insiders hinted that the decision wasn't about performance. Reid had experience. He had wins. What he didn't seem to have was trust. From teammates or captains, reports trickled in. Clashes behind closed doors, strained dynamics. A player whose fiery individuality sometimes burned too hot in a team environment. Golf, often framed as an individual sport, still relies on unity when the stars and stripes are stitched on the sleeve. And Reid, known for his intensity and edge, suddenly found himself on the outside looking in. The golf world buzzed. Was this a quiet message from Team USA? A culture-first move? Or a sign that even the best can be benched when chemistry goes sideways? Number 2. Fans gone wild in Phoenix. The Waste Management Phoenix Open has always been the sports party stop, a cocktail of golf and chaos. But in 2022, the line between energetic and unruly disappeared completely. What began as raucous cheering turned into full-blown disorder. Beer cans rained down from the stands. Players were heckled mid-swing. Volunteers struggled to contain a crowd that felt more like a stadium on Saturday night than a Sunday on the green. The iconic 16th hole became a coliseum. Fans cheering eagles one moment, jeering missed putts the next. Golf has long prided itself on order, hushed galleries, controlled reactions, unwavering decorum. But that weekend, tradition got trampled beneath a wave of chants and flying Coors Lights. The blowback came fast. Some loved it. Finally, they said, golf was shedding its stuffy image. Others were appalled, calling it disrespectful, dangerous, and a threat to the integrity of the sport. Is this live golf's destiny? Time will tell. Number 1. Sergio's Cup Spit revisited. Golfers talk about leaving it all on the course, but Sergio Garcia might have taken that too literally. In 2007, after missing a putt, Garcia leaned over and spit directly into the cup, broadcast live for the world to see. Fans were appalled. Players were outraged. Etiquette, the cornerstone of golf, had just been violated in one of the sport's most sacred spaces. Fast forward to 2019. Different tournament, same storyline. In Saudi Arabia, frustration boiled over again. Garcia deliberately damaged multiple greens in a fit of anger, leading to a rare and humiliating disqualification. No gray area, no ambiguity, just visible, deliberate destruction, this time with consequences. These weren't isolated incidents. They became bookmarks in Garcia's turbulent relationship with composure. One moment showed disrespect, the other, a lack of control. Both raised uncomfortable questions. Where's the line between passion and petulance? And how many second chances does a star get? The golf world responded swiftly. Commentators revisited his past flare-ups. Fans debated whether fines or suspensions were enough. Others pointed to his talent and longevity as excuses, while critics argued that repeat behavior should mean steeper penalties. What stood out wasn't just the acts themselves, but how they chipped away at golf's deeper values. Garcia, one of the game's most skilled shot makers, had become a cautionary tale. Because sometimes, it's not the swing that breaks the silence. It's the aftermath. Golf sells itself as a gentleman's game, but peel back the etiquette, and you'll find emotion simmering just below the surface. Pressure mounts, tempers snap, and suddenly, the fairway feels more like a battlefield. Because in a sport built on composure, the cracks are where the truth shows. And in those moments, caught on camera, debated for weeks, we're reminded even the most disciplined game can't always contain the fire of its fiercest players. Subscribe for more golf balls.